Hi guys, I'm a forester here. A while back I did a very quick paper cutting test with this World War II era sword that my father-in-law brought back from the occupation of Japan after the war. The only story that he told me about how he came to own this sword was that there was a pile of swords that had been confiscated or turned in by the Japanese. He had selected this sword when another Marine tried to take it away from him. After a tense moment when he said something like, "Touch my sword and you'll draw back a nub," well, you see who got it. I'll put a link to that earlier video below, but I promised that I'd give you a better look at the sword, and this is it. Now, he actually brought back 3 swords from Japan, but I'm going to focus on this officer's sword for this video. I've been trying to educate myself about swords in preparation for the video, but there's a lot to learn, so I'm not an expert. Let's start with the scabbard. And the scabbard is a coated metal material. You can see that there are some scratches. The paint's coming off in places, but it's in pretty good condition overall. Now you release the scabbard because it is held in place. You release it with this button right here. You press in and pull the scabbard out, and there's the latch that holds the scabbard in place. Let's go ahead and extract the sword, and I'll show you how where that latch fits. And it actually fits right there, and that's what holds the scabbard in place. I do want to show you this thin liner material, and I think that's made of a soft wood, and that keeps the edge from dulling when you put the sword in and out of the scabbard. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the sword itself. This style of sword is called a Kyu-gunto, and it was carried by Japanese army officers during the Russo-Japanese War and World War II. The sword's in excellent condition. The blade's 26 inches long, measured from the tip to this point, and this handle assembly is 9 inches long. The blade is straight and true, and I'll give you a close-up of it later, but there aren't any nicks or cracks in the edge. The hamen is this milky white colored area that follows the edge, and I hope you can see that, and it's continuous the whole length of the blade all the way to the tip. The hamen is the tempered part of the blade for holding an edge. It's continuous, as I said, all the way to the point, and it's still, the edge is razor sharp 70 years after World War II. Now, I was particularly curious if this sword was hand forged or machine made, and I don't know for sure, but I suspect it was hand forged because of the slight grain to the metal. Now, this handle assembly is in excellent condition. This brass guard and the metal back plate are very ornate, where they're decorated with cherry blossoms there and on other parts. The right side of this guard I'll show you later, but it's very ornate. This part of the handle right here actually designates it as an army sword. Navy swords had a straight edge right here. The material under here, which looks like a leathery material, is actually stingray skin. And when they cut it out, they always orient it so the grain of the skin is right by having the stingray head toward the butt of the sword and the tail up here toward the guard. Now, I've inspected this sword all over for inscriptions, and there aren't any on any exposed surfaces, but I understand that inscriptions are normally on the tang of the sword under this handle. Now, I made an attempt to remove the handle by punching out this peg right here, and it came out very easily, and I removed a screw up here. But when I took it apart, and the first part that came off is this metal back plate, that came off very easily. But the wire that's wrapped around this ray skin started to unravel, so I chose to put it back together and then leave that tang inscription to be revealed in a later video. I'm going to end the video by giving you a close-up look at the sword, the blade, and the handle, and then I'll do a paper cutting test that I think you'll enjoy. I'll see y'all later.